Well, I do love this. This is my topic for tonight. This is why it kind of hurts me to say this. I mean, it doesn't really hurt me to say it, but this is more like a nostalgic growing up kind of love here we got. I want to talk to you guys about, and I've mentioned this on the on the podcast before. I want to talk to you guys about Star Wars fatigue because it has really set in with me. Last weekend was the Super Bowl. If you didn't know, if you live under a rock and don't pay attention to TV or anything, I know you probably don't care about football.
Did any of us watch it besides you?
I don't think so.
I did not watch it.
Yeah.
So can you explain to some of us what a Super Bowl is?
The Superb Owl.
Yes.
The Superb Owl, the best something.
Knocked Owl is voted the greatest owl every year. I don't even know why they play the game to decide it. He always beats the owl from that old movie, the robot owl. Not Jason the Argonauts. Clash of the Titans.
There you go.
But anyways, yeah. So one of the very first commercials was the teaser, trailer, what have you, for the next upcoming Star Wars movie, the spin-off Solo, a Star Wars story, or whatever the hell it's called. And of course, everybody went, "Oh God, shut up, oh." Waited with bated breath to see this 40 seconds of meaningless, slapped together. Who knows what any of it? The endless speculation began. Oh, where's he gonna find Chewbacca at? Oh, there's Lando. Is he doing the Kessel Run? And I just didn't care. I did not care. I don't have any excitement for these movies anymore. I'm numb and dead to Star Wars now, and it's really hard for me to say that. We've got the third trilogy of movies now. We have it, and it's just ever since Disney bought the property, which Disney is just doing now. It's their marketing strategy. They're all about quality or quantity over quality, especially with Star Wars. And a lot of people have superhero fatigue, which I don't feel. I still love all the superhero movies that Marvel puts out. There's some I like less than others and just think are okay. But in general, I want to go see them. Some I get excited for to go see. We've talked about a lot of them on this podcast. But we haven't talked about any of the Star Wars movies. Or the most Star Wars stuff we've talked about is probably Battlefront. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not excited about the Battlefront game. Just outside of the manipulative EA loot box stuff. It's just because Star Wars. I just it's tedious. I don't know if you guys feel this way too, or
honestly,
do not.
I do not, but at the same time, I share the sentiment of I don't know that I care.
I've never been
Wars?
super huge into Star Wars, so
Exactly.
it's just not as big of a thing for me. But
Yeah.
I've enjoyed what I've seen. I've never seen the originals.
I love the original movies.
See,
At this point,
that's
it's I've had people who are huge fans of the originals saying at this point it might not even be worth it. Just the how at least they considered them to age.
Yeah,
The acting and the effects and stuff.
Honestly, if you
quite
go
old
back
now.
and watch them, you have to watch them almost, if you've never seen them, almost in the mindset of sitting down to watch a B movie. I hate to say that, but it's kind of true. You have to go in expecting not great.
See, I would be on the opposite spectrum of that. I have actually watched the movies recently, and I still think they hold up pretty well.
I think they do.
But you've seen them. You watched them when you were this is not your first time watching them.
No, this is
So
not.
you already have an attachment to them.
See, but I can still be objective about it, though. Even if I've got an attachment to them, and if you were to ask me, obviously
I
the
don't
quality.
think anyone can be truly objective.
Well, I guess we'll have a difference of opinion then. But regardless of that, yes, obviously it's dated with time. You'll have certain acting bits will more stand out. You've got the quality of them as well, which you'll never have as great as quality. And then obviously special effects of way enhanced since then.
Yeah, but I think I would argue they take away from the new movies more than they enhance them.
I mean, just
I would
but
agree with that.
I don't know, like the new movies as well as I mean, like the prequels are what they are. The new movies
I don't think we have to talk about the prequels.
Yeah. But honestly, like at the end of the day, I'm still I end up I talked about this once with somebody else, and I'll kind of repeat it here. Is that like the only issue I really have with generally the new movies as opposed to the old ones is that the old ones at least knew what they were trying to fucking do. They knew where they wanted to go, what kind of story they told. It's not a story we haven't seen before. They aren't technically telling us anything different, but it was done well. And that was what mattered.
They were shot well. George Lucas is at least like a competent director.
Yes.
He knows how to like shoot things. Back in the day, the practical effects in the movies were just like the alien, the monsters, the aliens and stuff, all the puppets.
Yeah. I mean, they don't hold up like what they can make nowadays. I mean, what they could do nowadays looks way better.
The ships were models.
Yep. But I mean, even then, for the time that it was really well done. But I like kind of seeing like the new movies, having seen what they've become, seeing Last Jedi, seeing Rogue Squadron, seeing Force Awakens, knowing that the Solo story is coming out. I'm getting a little bit fatigued too. Like
I just don't give a shit
anymore.
anymore.
Star Wars Rebels.
Oh god!
Yeah, I don't want to watch.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. You got Star Wars Rebels, and then you got like the new story that they're going to be coming out with as well. You
had Clone Wars before that.
There will be another trilogy after this one.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like they just plan on doing a new movie every year. Every year, even if it's not part of the main series, it's a movie every fucking year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they might take a break between this trilogy and the next.
Maybe
after the Obi-Wan one, I think.
That's the only one I care about because Ewan McGregor was the best part of the prequels.
Well,
in my
only if he gets cast.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I think he is cast. I thought they said that.
I will watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
He wants to, and there's a lot of memes about it online, but I haven't actually seen him.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's my favorite Star Wars character.
He was a generally fun character to watch.
Well, yeah, I think he was probably having the most fun out of everyone on the prequels.
Yeah,
it was the story about how he wouldn't stop making lightsabers sounds when he was like using them in the movie. Yeah, they had to just cut that bit out.
But it's like I don't know, man. I just like there's a lot coming out for Star Wars, and I mean, like from one hand, like as you guys stated, you don't have like that. You don't have that fatigue because to you it's just kind of another movie.
Yeah, I also don't like. Well, in general, I don't watch trailers unless they're before an actual movie that I'm already seeing. Like I don't go watch trailers on YouTube or I don't see a lot of commercials.
Mal's the one guy who closes his eyes and plugs his ears during the trailers.
No, I just avoided them. Like I haven't seen the Solo one yet, and I probably won't until it's on a trailer for something I'm already watching. Yeah. The theater.
That's probably how I'm gonna end. That's actually I probably won't even see the fucking Solo trailer unless a friend like shows it to me or something. I'm the same way as you, Mal. Like I don't look for the trailers. They just don't interest me enough.
Yeah.
Plus I've seen too many trailers where like they'll show you something in the trailer and they'll have a character do something and then it's just never in the movie because it got cut in like the final thing.
Its own topic.
Yeah, that's its
how
own
trailers are these days because they are not.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, but I
mean,
like
focus groups.
Yeah, thank you. Right. But like that kind of shit. But like I guess for Obs and I, well, maybe I don't know how much you were into the series, but like I said, like I really love the originals because again they were just well done. I mean, it's a story. It's your general hero story. Somebody.
Yeah, it's the hero's journey.
It's the hero's journey, exactly. But it was done well.
1,000 faces.
And it gave us a cool world and a universe to explore at the same time. And the prequels tried to add on more to like leading into what it was, which I mean has its ups and downs. On the one hand, there was the prequels. On the upside, memes for days. I have never loved so many.
I have the high ground series. Meta
prequel memes.
Prequel.
Also very.
That is one of my.
You underestimate my power.
The attack of my life has left me scarred and deformed.
Yes, and of course Palpatine, who we quote.
Oh
constantly.
God,
but
Palpatine's
really good
best.
too. Actually,
he's great.
He's also very good in the prequels.
So enjoyable.
No.
I mean, luckily you don't. No one's like making you watch them.
Yeah, nobody's making me watch
them. But they are, Mal. They are. It's everywhere.
Skipped, Rogue Squadron. I actually skipped for literally almost a year's time.
Yeah,
I didn't even bother picking it up. I actually had a guy who I work with who kept asking me, "Have you seen Star Wars Rogue Squadron yet?" And I'm like, "No."
It's Rogue One.
Or Rogue One, whatever the fuck it's called.
Rogue Squadron is a very very good game for the Nintendo.
Rogue Squadron is a
for
great
the 64. We need more Rogue Squadron. I will jump
on
that pedestal.
I love
Rogue
One
though. I will. That's like barring the name and my ability to not even care enough to remember what it's called.
Exactly.
Like that's how much it shows I care. Like I finally watched it and I thought it was just okay. The only thing I was upset about by that movie was the fact that the guy who was like the Jedi like monk or whatever didn't just fucking pull out a lightsaber at the end. I was so upset by that.
He didn't do anything. He just walked out and died for no reason.
Yeah, he walked out and died. I was like, well, I guess they're gonna kill everybody off, which makes sense. But all right.
He had to save the hope, save the dream.
I only watched the movie recently myself, and I will say I lost my shit when I realized Donnie Yen was in it. I had no idea that Donnie Yen was in it, and I was so fucking ecstatic.
That was 80% of why it was cool, just because it was him. It had nothing to do with his character.
Like he carried the movie for me personally. He did.
The Darth Vader scene is also really cool.
The Darth Vader scene is
I hated the Darth Vader.
I didn't like it either.
Because Darth Vader is normally he's intimidating by his presence.
Yes.
But that scene, it felt like they were like, let's make him say all these cool one-liners. Like every time you saw him, it was all about making him have to show you that he's badass when you always knew he was.
It made me feel like I was watching the prequels again.
I'm not. Yeah. Maybe I'm missing up here. Are we talking about like the end scene?
Yeah.
Where he's. I didn't hear any.
Where he's all silent, just killing everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't say a damn thing in that scene.
Not the end scene. I thought you were talking about the scene where he meets with the one guy.
Yeah, he does that. I don't like the end scene either.
Yeah, the end scene, he like definitely sees the guy holding the chip, and like the whole time he's like, "Let me deal with all these other people, despite the fact I could take the chip from you." Like,
I mean, you can argue that, but that goes with any movie. There's always something that's like, this would have been way fucking smarter to do.
Sometimes I can give it a blind eye, but Darth Vader definitely looks at the chip and watches it move throughout the people. Like,
I'm not disagreeing. I made that same fucking joke as I was watching the movie. I was just like, why doesn't he just fucking force pull the chip? I mean, you're absolutely right. It's stupid. He could have just been like, yoink, mine, haha, rebellion stopped. And that would have been the end of the series.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but they won.
Darth Vader in that movie, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you're building. He has how much of a backstory that he's built upon.
It's the Disneyfication of him.
Exactly.
It's just he's.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how to tell you. You're gonna be really upset then. I don't know how to tell you this, but Darth Vader had a lot of really badass one-liners in a lot of different series.
Yeah, but they weren't as cheesy.
Yes, they were.
No,
they were all just as fucking cheesy.
No,
yes, I hope you don't choke on your aspirations after you just choked the dude. Yes, they were all that cheesy. These all like there's one scene in a comic where he gets fucking surrounded by guys, and they're like, we're gonna beat you and shit. And he's like, all I'm surrounded is by dead men, and that's literally it. And then he kills them all. I'm like, that's a fucking cheesy one-liner.
More in line with some of the one-liners he gave in the trilogy than the one he gave in.
They feel like Joss Whedon one-liners.
Yeah, it's a different core feeling.
I don't know. I think this is going to be ending up going into that realm of subjectivity where it's like,
absolutely.
This is never going to be truly like a factual thing.
No, I agree. I mean, let's be honest. People change over time, and this takes place how many years before the trilogy? So there's always things changing. I mean, you're not wrong though. Darth Vader's always been a badass. I mean, he's always had. No, exactly. But he just, I don't know. He always felt like he carried it more from his presence. One-liners.
I just like the more personal battles of the like lightsaber fights of the old trilogy too. But that's I could rant about Rogue One all day. I hate that movie. But
it's again, it kind of is funny because we talk about it, but we end up just generally going back to a lot of the older movies. That's where it really ends up coming back to is like we talk about the movies and they're like, yeah, but we could have done this. We saw it in this in the original one. We always end up going back to the old movies, which is why I like them so much because it set the precedent for everything. It was done well.
I mean, luckily they're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I will say
for better or for worse
that I will give a lot of the newer stuff. I way prefer the spaceship designs. Like in the prequels, like the Naboo starfighter to me just looks so sleek and so nice. I mean, I know you don't need sleekness in space. I understand why it's impractical and everything. I just like the way it looks. It's very much a Corvette of starfighters.
Well, that's because like you have to remember like the rebellion is made up of like, you know, junks and pieces and they're trying to get their hands on just like the tech that'll work. Like the B-wing is probably the sleekest fucking ship that they get in their fleet when it comes to a starfighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean I get why. It's just that is some credit that I have to give the newer stuff.
Which you make fun when we talk about like the new starfighter, but then there was also like that was on the side before Palpatine became the Senate and and decided that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take over the universe.
Yeah, it's also it's not just like the movies and stuff, but it's also just like how they're marketed now. To me, it also just drives me insane. I pretty much sum it up with the Porgs, who were in the movie for like 2 minutes maybe, and they're slapped over every freaking Star Wars thing that's out now. We got Darth Vader dancing at Disney World videos all over the place, and the freaking commercials. It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous.
I'll say it this way. I had an early 1980s toy of Bosk. Do you know who Bosk is?
Yes. He's one of the coolest fucking bounty hunters ever.
Thank you, Meta. And the only reason why you know about him is
Dark Forces.
Oh, okay. For me, it's because of the toy.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't shoved down your throat, though.
No, but in the 70s, in the 80s, the whole, toy action figure of Star Wars collectibles. Like I knew a bunch of kids whose dads had whole rooms covered in walls of the action figures. So don't tell me it wasn't always marketed and all about.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's more ubiquitous now. It's in everything. Yeah. It's because Disney has it, and there's just more money to spend on marketing. So it's on every box of cereal. It's on every Coke can. It's
you know what this is? This is Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs.
It totally is.
And Spaceballs the T-shirt.
And one of my favorite YouTube channels in general is Red Letter Media, who has the Plinkett reviews and stuff like that. They have which are awesome, which are probably the most amazing Star Wars thing ever made, and to be completely honest. But they have something called the Nerd Crew podcast where they make fun of people who talk about Star Wars and stuff like that and do reaction videos and stuff. Every time they talk about Star Wars, it's so freaking hilarious. They sit at a little table that's covered with it's just littered with useless Star Wars crap. Like the stuff that they put out, like a R2-D2 popcorn maker.
Oh God.
There's that, Chewbacca shaving cream. Just the stuff they find is freaking hilarious, and that's half the fun of those movies. I'm gonna link you one.
Hold on,
a little bit meta because you would love them.
I would love this. Do link it to me
because I know you're all about satire, and they're completely satirical.
I love satire. Satire is I love the fact that we can take something we love and poke fun shit out of it.
Yeah, so that's if anything, that's given me more Star Wars fatigue because. Now, I would love if they did another KOTOR game and it was good, and if SWTOR hadn't ruined Revan. And I also really love the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoon back from the early 2000s. It's probably the best piece of Star Wars visual media, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm. You know what I almost want them to do? I just kind of want them to stop making Star Wars stuff for a little bit. Give a breather, guys.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it makes too much money, sadly.
I know, money. That's the problem, though. It makes so much money when it's not even that great.
It was the highest, what's the word? At the box office. It made the most money last year, right?
Yep, it did.
and Disney's not going to let that cash cow go. They're going to keep pushing the crap out of it and make a bunch of spin-offs that I don't care about. And forgive me for sounding like a hipster before, but no one gave a damn about Star Wars 10 years ago. And now
that's not true.
Freaking everywhere.
Not true.
I'm not saying like no one. I'm being a bit hyperbolic there, but it's not as popular as it's not nearly as popular or mainstream as it now as it used to be, except for maybe the 70s.
It's always been mainstream.
I think what we need to do is take Star Wars, set it down, and really have like a discussion on what can make it great again. Let's make Star Wars.
It just needs to go away.
Build a wall around it.
It just I'm with you. I think it just needs to go away for a while.
I think the problem is every time they bring Star Wars back, it's always through some different scope or mindset. Like the prequel knew where it wanted to go, but it had the rockiest road to go over. There were some times where the road wasn't even there.
George Lucas just had free reign.
Yeah, he had too much free reign. I mean,
he didn't have Lawrence Kasdan and all them to like go. All right, because if he initially wanted to make, I read like a biography about how the first 3 movies were made. He initially wanted to make Han Solo like a 7-foot-tall, lanky blue alien who didn't talk and did something weird. I think Lawrence Kasdan had to go. You can't do that, George. No one will. no one's going to care about that character. You got to make him a smarmy, roguish smuggler guy instead. And there you go. And we got Jar Jar in episode 1 when he got free reign.
And then you have the new shows, which I almost feel like that these new ones are trying to cater. Like they're not only trying to say, because like Force Awakens is just a New Hope. When you drill it down to its core, that's really what it is.
It's a soft reboot.
Yeah,
basically.
And then the Last Jedi is like, oh, all those conventions you know about Star Wars, we're gonna throw them right out the window. We're gonna just upset everything. And I'm like, I feel like these movies are telling, like, one hand, it's like, look, guys, you can trust us. We can do Star Wars. Look, we even made one that was just like Star Wars that you love. And then everybody was saying all this stuff, coming up with theories. And then the next movie was like, okay, so all that stuff that you were talking about, we're gonna get rid of it.
I think it's so big that there's just gonna be a loud amount of people that don't like it regardless of how it is.
Oh yeah, well, but that's with everything. That's with anything.
Oh,
We're always gonna find.
This is so big though, right? Star Wars, and it makes the most money now, and it's always going to have a ton of people complaining about it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's again anything that makes a lot of money, except for Toy Story. Who can hate
I know, right? I have nothing bad I can say about Toy Story.
Pixar that much anymore? It's all sequels.
Toy Story.
You're fucking dead to me, Kat.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Fucking dead. No, don't even talk to me.
Yep.
You're dead.
You do not have a friend in me.
Not a friend in me at all, sir.
Toy Story.
Call it Randy Newman.
You are no, we're not friends anymore. I am immediately removing you from the gaming group. I will not be seeing you on Thursday anymore. I'm cutting off all communication.
So,
now it's Mal and him. It's just you and me, Tets.
I'm gonna alienate the shit out of you for saying something like that. How dare you? Tantamount to sacrilege is what that was.
Anime betrayal number 3.
Now you see what it's like whenever you rain your hellfire upon us and don't let us know when your bombs are going off in Monster Island.
Oh my god.
I let you know 2 seconds after I've shot.
It's the 3rd cluster bomb is falling. Hey guys, I'm gonna start doing my cluster bombs now.
Oh my god. All right. I've got Star Wars topic fatigue now, so we're gonna end it.
Let's
end
this
it
one to
here.
rest.
Episode 42, Podcast of 5 Rings. Your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of 5 Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud. And now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with a full video releasing on Friday. Check us out on Twitter. I don't know, I didn't mess up. I did it, Mal. Are you proud of me? No. Yeah, meh.
You hit status quo.
You read some copy. It's not that impressive.
You hit status quo. That's nothing to be impressed by.
Thank you for keeping my ego in check. Twitter.com/podcast5R, where you can, if you want to watch us Nuzlocke live and see the incoming death that's eventually going to happen live, that's the place to get the update about when we're going to do it. Facebook.com/P5R podcast. Met in them also have a stream. Twitch.tv/PSO Flow. And ours is twitch.tv/podcast of 5 rings. Not the number, but the word 5 spelled out. So be sure to check us all out. I want to go and have a nightmare about Ewoks and Jar Jar and the Porgs. Oh, I hate the Porgs so much. The Minions. It's the new Minions.
Apparently they were
to save you from.
There is a story behind the Porgs. I think Mel's even gonna tell it.
It's because the island they were using just had so many puffins, and it was literally easier to
CGI them over,
get rid of them.
Well, I hope they don't come back in the third movie, but I have a feeling they will.
I mean, they're not using that island, I assume.
And before,
maybe not.
I pray they don't.
No, I gotta go to Walmart and buy my Porg humidifier because holy moly,
it depends on how much money in merchandise they sold, right?
Yeah, how much can we sell of these things?
Well, how much have they?
Anyway,
into me now.
All right.
Cut it off, Hobbs.
Cut it off, Hobbs.
Wait.